Welcome everyone. I am Warrior, and today we'll be discussing one of the most pressing issues of our time, climate change. Many deniers say that climate change isn't even happening, even while many experts say it's too late to reverse the damage we've done. We're going to explore both sides and figure out what's actually going on. Let's assume for a second that climate change is real. What does it do, and what are the implications for humanity? Climate change is a result of increased greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, like carbon dioxide and methane. They keep heat trapped inside, sort of like what your blanket does when you're in bed. This increase in heat is extremely bad. It doesn't just mean that everywhere gets warmer. To put it simply, instead of making us feel warm, the increase in temperature just changes weather patterns drastically. According to NASA, this year we have the most carbon dioxide in our atmosphere since before humans existed. As the polar glaciers melt, oceans rise and heat up, which will further change weather and make tropical storms incredibly violent. Some places will dry up like a desert, some places will flood like a lake, and everywhere on Earth will have unpredictable and dangerous fluctuations in weather. Obviously, unpredictable weather is bad for more than just tourists and golfers. Farmers will give up as crops fail year after year, and food prices will skyrocket before food becomes scarce altogether. Fresh water will be increasingly difficult to find as rising oceans contaminate many rivers and lakes with salt. Category 4 and 5 hurricanes, like Andrew, Katrina, and Harvey, will devastate the United States annually instead of once every 6 to 10 years. Overall, the weather changes brought on by climate change are extremely bad. But are these recent weather changes really a result of climate change? We all know about the increasing amount of devastating hurricanes that have reached Central and North America in the past few years. And if you live in the United States, you know about our fluctuating winters that reach 50 degrees in February and 37 degrees in April. On this graph, you can see that red and blue indicate anomalous temperatures. Many of the red spots are in the United States. Up until recently, it's been widely debated whether our temperature and weather pattern fluctuations are a result of climate change. But now, almost all experts agree that yes, we're warming up the atmosphere, and yes, it's causing our weather to become dangerously unpredictable. According to NASA, 97% of scientific experts agree that climate change is happening, it is caused by humans, and we need to reverse it before it's too late. Many scientific organizations, academies, government agencies, and even the American Medical Association have released statements agreeing that climate change is a concrete threat. But how bad has it gotten? Well, so far the Earth has warmed by roughly 1 degree Celsius, which may not sound like much, but I will go through this scale, demonstrating just how bad a few degrees can be. At 2 degrees Celsius, the Greenland ice sheet will vanish within a little over a century. The polar ice caps will melt to almost nothing. Low-lying places like Manhattan, London, and Shanghai will be completely underwater due to rising ocean levels. Over a third of all living species are near extinction. If we're able to cut emissions by 60% by 2030, we may be able to avoid this outcome, but every year the probability decreases. At 3 degrees Celsius, farming and food production drops severely. Rising tides contaminate many freshwater sources, and warming oceans produce extremely violent and deadly annual hurricanes. There is practically a zero chance of stopping a 3-degree warming if the temperature rises by 2 degrees. At 4 degrees Celsius, sea levels rise by around 165 feet globally. Forests catch fire as the sun bakes trees, and cities experience temperatures of around 120 degrees Fahrenheit. There is also little chance of stopping a 4-degree warming if the temperature rise breaches 3 degrees. At 5 degrees Celsius, polar ice is completely gone. Rainforests turn into deserts, and much of the land we live on is now underwater. Water wars and oil wars will cause a breakdown in our political system, and the economy will collapse due to resource shortages. This is essentially a real-life anarchy that we're facing, and there's almost no chance of avoiding it if we can't avoid a 4-degree rise in temperature. At 6 degrees, things really get bad. A 6-degree rise in temperature would see a 95% extinction rate among all species, including humans. In the sea, warming waters kill off almost everything from plankton to whales. The only land survivors are mold and fungi. This is pretty bad. Right now in 2019, we face the real possibility that within only centuries, humans could go extinct. We may well be one of the last generations to survive on Earth, yet somehow billions ignore that fact and go about their lives as if everything is fine. Never in human history have we ever faced such a problem, but even in the face of extinction, politicians spin their wheels and nothing gets done. So we need to do something about it. In the description, I've included some further readings, including the sources where I found the statistics I quoted, and I urge you to read them. I've also included Paul Hawken's book Drawdown, which is a multi-step plan to reverse climate change. There are many solutions in his book that we can all take part in. Next time on Warrior, we'll be talking about trees. Trees might be the only way we can get out of this mess, but even they can't save us completely. Stay tuned for that video coming soon. I will release more videos in the coming weeks about climate change and what we can do about it. This is Warrior signing off. Thank you for watching, and God bless.